Most of us just want to do our research, right? So I think for science to be productive at the University of Washington, we need to make sure that not just ourselves, but our collaborators and our colleagues and our friends, that they all feel secure in their positions so that they can really focus on their research so that we can all get our work done. Otherwise, we're just going to be walking around like big balls of anxiety. In my group, I'm one of about 30 postdocs in the group. So there's tons of other postdocs around, but in a lot of labs, there's maybe one or two postdocs. And the idea of being able to talk to other people about which things are postdoc-specific problems is severely limited because there's not really this sort of sense of community where we're kind of talking about these issues. And so part of the push with this organization to form a union is that we have to talk to everybody and ask what's it like to be a postdoc, what problems do you have? So there's a lot of reasons that not having a union makes it really complicated for postdocs. The job titles is one of them. So right now, postdocs are hired in, I think, 7 different job titles, at least 7 different job titles at the University of Washington. So I think the different benefits that are given to postdocs in different job titles was a thing that was largely unknown to individual postdocs until very recently. The interesting thing is that a lot of which job title you end up being hired in has mostly to do with which department you're in. It's not as though a research associate has a different job or different set of responsibilities than a senior fellow. So I can give you an example. In my fellowship, you have to have a primary and a secondary advisor, and my primary advisor is in the biochemistry department, and secondary advisor is in the chemistry department. A colleague of mine has the opposite. Her primary appointment, same fellowship, her primary appointment's in chemistry, and secondary is in biochemistry. She's a research associate. I'm a senior fellow. We've bumped elbows at the bench. So it's really strange to think that there's a different set of policies that would be governing this. And of course, if something did happen and we say, hey, how did you go about this? It may or may not apply. And when those situations arise is totally unclear. A lot of questions I have from people are, what exactly is the union trying to accomplish? Do you want like a 3% raise or a cost of living adjustment? But these are democratic organizations. And so once we've become certified, the content of that contract is decided on democratically. So everyone gets a vote, you can go to meetings, and the amount of say that individual postdocs end up having in the benefits package that they receive, I think is just extraordinarily different than the situation that we have right now, and it's really interesting and exciting. The response to our petition, which had more than a majority of all the postdocs at the university signed union authorization cards saying we want to be represented, the university said, postdocs are great, you make great contributions to research, we're not going to get in the way of your right to organize, but at least 35% of you are technically faculty, so we're going to delay the process. It's hard to read this as anything other than an anti-union delaying tactic, as opposed to a really legitimate concern about complying with state law. It suggests that every step of the way is going to be a fight with the administration.